Well, another great way to decorate your home for the Christmas season is to use fresh greens. And one of the ways to do that is to make a garland. Today I want to show you how to do that with some of the greens that you might find in your own landscape. Well, it's pretty easy. All you need are some greens and some wire, and also you'll need a pair of wire cutters. Now, the wire that I'm using today is florist wire, and you'll notice here that it is coated, and this is important because if it isn't coated wire, it will rust. So get this green coated wire. Now next, I've gone out and gathered greens. Now I actually did this last night, and I placed them in a bucket of water overnight. Now this is important. It'll help your greens to last a lot longer. Now another thing to think about is the type of greens that you use. Now today I'm using some juniper greens here, and I just went out and cut a few branches off of several juniper trees. Now you don't want to butcher your trees to make a garland, but you can selectively cut a few off to put onto this. Now it's important to get the kind of scaly type of evergreens here because these have dormant buds, and so when you cut them off, they're going to go ahead and grow back again. Now, it's important to remember not to go out and butcher your pine trees to make a garland out of, because pines, if you remember, their buds are here on the end and they don't have any dormant buds. So once you cut this off, it's not going to grow back. So it's best to use either junipers or arborvitaes to make your Christmas greenery out of. Now I take this greenery that I've had soaking, and I'll just place it on this wire. Now I've strung this wire between two chairs, and it's about a 4-foot length segment, and this keeps it up off the floor. It's easier to work with. Now I'll place my greenery on here and then just start wiring that in here. Now a lot of garlands that you see are much longer than this. But what you do is you make them in short segments and then join them together. And you don't want to make your segments any longer than 10 feet. That's just too long. So now I'm wiring this in. And as I get to the halfway point, I'm going to choose another branch and place that on here and continue to wire. Now you'll notice that my wire is on a paddle. It's very easy to go ahead and wind this around. So remember to buy that on a paddle. So once I've reached the end here, I'll take my wire cutters and cut this off. Well, now that I've got my garland segment finished, I can go ahead and come in with either some pine cones or some magnolia cones and wire those in for decoration, or even some holly berries to add some color. Well, to keep this all fresh, it's a good idea to spray that with some anti-transparent and allow that to dry. This will keep the greens fresh just a little bit longer. One final thing to think of is if you're using these fresh greens, the sap from these can mar the surfaces of your furniture or your tablecloth. So you'll want to put something underneath like saran wrap or some aluminum foil so that that won't mar the finish. Well, you can see this is a very easy process, and it's a great way to bring the smell and the color of greenery inside your house for your holiday decorating. Well, we're about out of time today, but before I go, I wanted to mention that the OSU Floriculture Judging Team is having their annual poinsettia sale at the OSU Teaching Greenhouses from 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, December 5th and 6th. You might want to check this out. The funds go to help the floriculture team travel and also support freshman scholarships. Well, I'm glad you joined us today, and I hope these tips will help you with your holiday decorating. Be sure and come back and join us again next week on Oklahoma Gardening.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.